Your natural papa.
Scarlet.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Scarlet.
Mm-hmm.
I am 23 years old.
Okay,
Can I
girl.
lie about my age?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 18. No, just kidding. I am 23 years old and I am full Mexican.
Where are you from, girl?
Santa Rosa.
Califas.
707.
Bitch, say it back.
Okay, it's a long story. Wait, are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
So my first name was supposed to be Sophia or Sophie or some shit like that. But then, like, I would always hear my mama say, like, oh, why don't you name her Scarlet? To, like, people who were pregnant and I have a girl. And so I'm like, I would always hear Scarlet, Scarlet. So I'm like, oh, I like this name. So I'm like, alright, Scarlet, I'm going to put my initial of Scarlet. Marie is because my sister's middle name is Marie. And I don't want to talk about my other last name. So then later on, I find out that my mom was going to name my sister Scarlet, but the godmother was like, no, that sounds like a prostitute's name. So there you have it.
So now, and now we have
a prostitute.
Scarlet Marie with us.
Hello.
I just finished doing her makeup. How do you like it?
It is beat for the gods. I love it. It's really edgy, like different. I love it. It's something that I wouldn't do like to myself. Dark lips, dark eyes.
It's very Tanya of you.
Very Tanya. Yes, I got the Tanya look. Also the hair color.
I mean, it looks like her hair actually. It's very similar, like the way that.
Something the same dress as well.
That's kind of weird.
Weird, but I love it.
Totally. If you guys were watching earlier, she actually shared with us a story about how she came up kind of with the name Scarlet. And I just think it's really interesting because when I met her, her name was Omar, and then now referring to her as like Scarlet. It's kind of like this process, which is probably very emotional for you. Tell me about it a little bit more.
It is a huge process. It's a huge change. It's a lot of things that can happen because I did come out as being gay to my parents and to my friends. And that was a huge obstacle. Like, it was a huge thing that I did, and it took me a lot of courage to do it. So for me to come out being trans or being that I wanted to be a girl, it was another, like, I mean, I had to say it would be like triple the nerves and the courage that I had to go through with that. And I've had a lot of great outcome of it, and I'm blessed to have a really supportive family.
Totally. Because a lot of teens, young adults, even adults, don't have a lot of support from their family within the LGBT community. So for you to have that, especially going with something so like just very internal, I think that's really amazing. That's amazing for you to have that family, especially coming from a Latin background as well.
Oh yes. Totally. It does like have to do a lot with being. I mean, I'm 100% Mexican, so. Being in a Mexican family, having Mexican parents, and having the relatives, it's really difficult. It's really something hard. But how I said once, I'm really blessed to have a family that is really supportive, and they support me for like anything that I want to go through. So it's great.
It's amazing. And I don't know if you guys watch or if you have watched the Kelly Kerwick show. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. Carmen Carrera and Laverne Cox were on there, and it was actually a very good little segment of the show. It truly like kind of changed the way I looked at trans. Kelly had asked Carmen a question about whether or not she had gone through the full process, being trying to be a Victoria's Secret model and everything. And she actually just didn't want to answer it. She told her in the interview, like, I'd rather not. It was actually a shocking moment for me because normally when everyone's on the show, they want to answer the questions. And then when Laverne had came on, she just brought up that everyone is just so kind of isolated on this gender, this part, when it really it kind of diverts us from focusing on what's really happening within the trans community, or even just like the LGBT community in that. And what she was saying is that there's so many just deaths, there's so many murders going on within the trans community that we're not looking at, and it's because we're so caught up on this genitalia, this something that is just so meaningless and when there's so much other stuff going on? How does that?
No, of course. Actually, I didn't see the interview, but I read about it and everything like that. And where she's coming from, I really like understand it 100% because actually before I even start, like when I started transitioning, I had to like research, and I did a lot of research. I did some YouTube research, I did some like actual online research, and I came across a lot of things that I just kind of like was shocked and scared because it's a lifestyle, not a lot, it's my life that I'm going to be living, and to hear that a lot of murders go on, a lot of crimes, and that to this day they haven't really like figured it out, they haven't made any justice about it. It kind of like, it's shocking. And
it goes undetected, actually.
Yes. It gets like put away, like it's like whatever. And these cases were like way back in like the 19-something, like it's like
it goes back for, I mean, as long as this
uh-huh.
like even like cross-dressing or anything has been going on. So it dates back to probably before we can even date.
Oh yes. And so like for me to research like deaths of like these really beautiful girls or like trans girls who get murdered, who get raped, who get all this stuff, it's like really sad. And people don't really take a look at it. They just think like, oh, they're freaks. Because basically, I haven't gotten it personally to myself, but I've heard it a lot. Like, oh, they're just freaks. You know, like, you know, whatever. They're doing it for attention. I've heard that a lot too. From the same interview, this guy posted on like YouTube, and it said, you know, I feel like Carmen is just doing this for attention, and all these trans are doing it for attention. I mean, if I wanted attention, I can get the attention I want. But it's just like the person's who we are inside.
Totally.
We never choose this lifestyle. We don't choose our lives. We don't choose any of it. I mean, how RuPaul said himself, like, once you're born, everything else is drag. Like,
totally.
I mean, that's how it is. And I'm just living my life how I'm supposed to live it.
Yeah, and I think that we're actually really blessed. I mean, blessed to have a supportive family, as well as I feel like Sonoma County is actually it's a very open community.
Friendly, yes.
Totally. I mean, even in high school, I would go and drag, and, you know, like, I even did a transgender day of awareness, and, you know, I dressed up. I mean, even though I'm not trans, but I just tried, like, you know, kind of being that wow factor for that day. We went around, we passed out probably like 500 flyers, just like, you know, letting them know. We did chalk outlines for like people that had actually been murdered, you know. We would write their information down in the chalk, like what their name was, you know, how they died. And just the response from that for me was truly like amazing. It was literally amazing. I probably found one of those flyers on the floor. Everybody was so receptive of it. It was amazing. Like, even like throughout the backs of the school that I went to, it would be more of like, you know, like the hoodlums or like the gangster kind of guys, you know. And they honestly would come up to me, shake my hand, you know, like they'd say like, oh, like, you know, I respect what you're doing, like, you know, like, good for you, like, this is cool, like, totally giving me like 100% respect. And I mean, for me to be walking around in heels, in makeup, and like that, it's just so nice to be accepted like that when you see in the news so many like horrible things going on within the LGBT community. Not to say that Sonoma County doesn't have anything negative, but I think obviously from our experiences, I feel like we've definitely. And
I actually didn't know you did that at school, in which now that I'm listening to you, it's like, oh my gosh, cool. Like, I didn't know you did that at school, and it means a lot. Like, I just thought you just would go dress up to school as Tawney.
Well, I mean, I would. But I mean, sometimes I had a purpose.
You know, but like for hearing that part of the storyline, I'm just like, oh my god, it's amazing. And it is true. Like, we are blessed to live in Sonoma County.
Totally.
I've actually been out in Sonoma County, Santa Rosa, Rono Park, and I don't get any looks. I don't get no nasty bullying or anything like that, which I am blessed, and it is a great outcome. People actually compliment me, and
it's very lovely.
I'm happy, so it's good. I mean, and not all places are like this. So
totally. I mean, don't be going everywhere. Don't be going everywhere.
We can't go all of it. No, but I mean, I do want to travel, and that does frighten me a lot.
Totally.
It has come to my my eye, and my dad was saying the other day too, because about the whole airport and going into like the airport and the airplane and all that stuff. He was like, well, you're gonna have trouble in the airport and this and that, and it got me thinking. I'm just like, is it really true? Like, am I gonna have that whole complex about it.
Totally.
So it's just kind of frightening. And also at the clubs when I show my ID and I am a male on my ID, so it's like really hard. But I mean, little by little, I hope to change every single part of my life like that.
Definitely. And I just want to thank you for totally opening up. I really appreciate it. I feel like hopefully some of the viewers can kind of like, you know, grab something for this, kind of take something away from this. And totally, I mean, if you guys have any questions, anything, I'd love to do another video like this. Please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much, Miss Scarlet.
Thank you, boo.
Salud, mama.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.